To say that Bailey Brown is a tennis Hall of Famer because he's a 1 in a million ball striker misses the point altogether.
Really an icon in the Atlanta area for tennis. A lot of people know who he is, and he doesn't do a lot to advertise or promote himself.
Bailey Brown is a rarity.
He has a remarkable cadre of individuals that know him well over the years. The opera singer Luciano Pavarotti, when he would come and perform in Atlanta, would take tennis lessons from Bailey because he loved taking lessons from Bailey as well.
Not somebody who easily fits in a box. He's a former world top 25 player who entered tournaments whenever he felt like it.
He was sort of a wild card in these tournaments. The tournaments he did enter and play players like Higueras and of that ilk. He would surprise them, and Higueras would just walk off the court shaking his head and wonder what had happened because he was beaten by someone he'd never heard of. That's Bailey Brown in a nutshell.
And he's become a friend to thousands of student hackers through friendship, basic kindness, and an intellectual approach to the game.
I don't call a lot of people this, but I mean, he is a student of the game. Not only in terms of putting together the fundamentals of strokes, but also putting together and constructing points.
And he has a very unique way of teaching as well, in that he is not he really concentrates on the things that you do well. You'll hardly ever hear Bailey say anything negative about your game to speak of. He's, I mean, almost exclusively on the positive side, developing the tools that you have.
Bailey Brown grew up in New York State and had a fine junior career before attending the University of Pennsylvania, where he became legendary quickly.
Bailey had graduated a few years before, and our coach used to talk about Bailey Brown as the purest striker of the tennis ball that he had ever seen.
He played some majors on the tour, he dabbled with world team tennis, and went on to win national seniors titles. What was his game? He could hit the ball hard, and he could hit the ball straight.
Bailey has an ability with a short swing to generate an incredible amount of power through the hitting zone that you just don't see.
His game, he knows little about defense. In tennis, he is strictly an offensive player, and that means he loves to aim for the lines, and the lines seem to love him right back. We often hit, and the going joke with us is that I love to hit on ball machines, and once I started hitting with Bailey, I found that the ball machine was a poor comparison. Bailey was better than the ball machine, and plus I could talk to him.
Now in his early 70s, you'll find him at Bitsy Grant, teaching with a line of students and friends wrapped around the court.
For senior tennis players, we're a kind of a horrible lot. We complain, we run down our opponents, we run down people we play with. We're just a grumpy old bunch of old men. Bailey, actually, I've never heard him ever say a negative word about any other player or anybody else's tennis game. And Lord knows there's a lot to make fun of if you're out there watching. So I really look at that. He's a man of good character. He's someone that the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame can look on with pride about being a part of that organization.
I never met him in college, and then I moved to Atlanta, and sure enough, Bailey was here. And I'll never forget the first time I met him. We were at the bar, funnily enough, at the old Terminus Club, which later became the Atlanta Health and Racket Club. And we got to talking, and he was every bit, it turned out he was an even nicer guy than he was a good tennis player, which was a pretty remarkable thing to figure out.
It's been a pleasure following this journey with you over the years, and I want you to know that I think you're one of the finest Southern gentlemen transformed from the Northeast, and you have mixed that with a tremendous competitiveness on the court for the ultimate degree of the tennis profession.
Bailey Brown, a 2015 inductee into the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.